My brand is essentially like a premium look. So high value and high quality photos of myself. I'll do video content. I'll do a lot of photos of myself. All my content is very authentic. So it's mainly behind the scenes of how I'm building my business now, my strategies that I'm using. So a lot of the content you will see on LinkedIn is like, oh, how to use this AI tool. This is how you build a personal brand, optimize your profile, right? It's all these like more generic, broad items that you can just probably go on the chat GPT and just ask like that question. You'll get the result for it. If you take my content, you're not going to be able to chat it and get the same answer because it's more about my business, what I'm working on. And I'll talk a lot about like what I've learned about the past, XYZ years of doing business. I'll even show examples of me doing my gaming stuff and how like transported over all the skills I have now for my LinkedIn business. So it's really just showing behind the scenes, the strategy that you use and just how you run your business is the best type of content because people want to see the relatable stuff of you waking up and like, oh, I don't sit here for an hour, drink my coffee, and I'm done for the day. I sit here for 15 hours and get no results because I'm just testing new things, right? They want to see like the raw, real self of you building your business.
Before we dive into today's episode, please hit that subscribe button. Your support helps us grow and inspire more people on their journeys. Thank you. Hello, Alex. Thank you for joining us today and welcome to the show.
Heck yeah, man. Great to be on here and excited to answer some questions.
So, Alex, for those who don't know you, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. So my name is Alex. I've been creating content on LinkedIn for over 2.5 years now. We run a content agency, so we're essentially helping founders, other content creators scale their business, create their content, and essentially create their systems to maximize their time and their revenue just on LinkedIn.
I was, Alex, looking at your background and at your experience, and it seems like that you've been like a gamer or a streamer. So what is actually your previous experience like?
Yeah, so I actually streamed on Twitch for 7 years. I did some cringe games. I played Fortnite, Destiny. That was actually my first business of scale to 6 figures. I did that through actually high school and college. It was fantastic, but it was very hard to scale and the revenue really wasn't there for how much time we were putting into it. I'm talking like 14, 15-hour days of just like sitting in front of your like monitor playing Fortnite. So it wasn't worth it. So then I eventually scaled on to the business I'm currently doing.
Was it like a natural progression from your passion for gaming, or did you see it as maybe to try some type of business as well from gaming?
So I actually went to, while I was gaming in college, I actually took entrepreneurship in college. And I learned a lot about different aspects of businesses, like the flow of like how these companies are being built. It actually really got me interested in building my own type of business. So I built my first educational company in college and it was a complete flop, but it actually like taught me a lot of skills on building in public, building behind the scenes. You're supposed to create content while you're building your business. So it doesn't just flop how it did. So it's kind of like a gradual increase in my interest in doing what I'm doing now. So if I didn't do the game, if I didn't go to college, I probably wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now.
I like it because I spoke even with some previous guests that sometimes you get experience, and at that time it might not seem that relevant or helpful, but later on you actually find out that it's so precious that it's actually been very helpful before.
Oh, I'm 100%. Even like the studio that I have right now, the camera setup, the microphones, I've had this all from gaming. So it easily transitioned over to creating content for, other founders, creators, and myself. So it's been fantastic.
And I can also imagine maybe it was different for you, but people usually struggle like to put themselves on camera or like, to speak to the camera, whether it's streaming, podcasting, or any videos. So what was it like for you in the beginning, like with the streaming?
Yeah, honestly, it was really hard. So I've been like the biggest introvert for the like 4 or 5 years just straight.
Really? I was expecting the opposite.
Yeah, honestly, man, like streaming really helped me at the start because I just hated showing my face. I didn't feel very confident in myself. So I actually started streaming with just like a hand camera. So my camera is on my keyboard, and my mouse, so you can only see my hands. And then eventually I started going to, my face. And then I bought a better quality camera. And over time, I would just always show my face. I started going to in-person events. So I went to like San Diego for TwitchCon. I've done in-person events for networking for LinkedIn. So it's just like a gradual thing where I just got more confident as I did the reps. So really the only way to do it is to just get yourself on camera more. And then over time, you're just going to get so comfortable. And then once you can get to the in-person events, you're golden.
I can really agree. And
Yep.
what about some numbers when it comes to your like a streaming career, whether it's, I don't know, subscribers or any
Yep.
milestones?
Yeah, I'm actually, so in 2020 or 2021, I was actually one of the largest Fortnite creators for the custom games we were running. So we
Oh,
were hosting like 4, 5, 600 average viewers. We had over 2,000 subscribers, one of the largest ones. Unfortunately, my Discord did get banned. I got hacked, and I
Oh
even
my
got
god.
squatted. It was insane. I had like police come into my house and everything. So it was a wild experience.
Really? Even that serious?
Yeah, the community in gaming and all that is just a lot different than what it is right now on LinkedIn. So I'm kind of like more liking the LinkedIn community and the business community over like the old gaming community. So yeah, the numbers were fantastic.
Wow, it sounds pretty cool. And I saw also in your experience that you've been like a community manager on Discord, right?
Yep.
So I guess that's something that really helps like with building a community in general, because you can see like people often talking on LinkedIn about how important it is, whether it's, to build your community, your tribe, the people that you surround yourself with. So I guess that was also something very helpful later on.
Oh yeah, I've built. I can't even like tell you how many communities I've helped build on Discord. I mean, it actually used to be a servers where I'd basically hop into a Discord, built their whole structure of their community. I'd help them from like the start to finish of growing their community, growing more members, hosting live Q&A calls with them. So it was really just a whole process of just helping as many communities as I could. This was in gaming, in crypto, and NFTs, and all these different niches. I was able to help people basically grow their community. So it was a lot of fun.
What will be some, for example, tips, whether it comes to building the community? I guess there are many, but maybe something that people underestimate or struggle with.
Yeah, so really it's more of a time game. So even for my school community right now we're running, it's obviously like kind of like a Discord type thing. So really just being active and like showing up every single day is 100% necessary, especially for the host of the community. We are running calls every single day. I'm answering every single question. I mean, like every single comment is answered. There's no channels that are going to be boring or dead or like not active. So really just showing up every single day, answering questions, posting every single day. I call them engagement loops. So it's basically posts that just constantly get engagement. So it's like asking a question, people answer questions on that post. You ask them more questions. So just a simple loop of just constant comments and engagement. That's really what's going to get the community just to be active nonstop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good time management with everything like that.
Dude, I'm telling you, like there were days last week I spent 15 hours, 16 hours, literally right here, just on school, on LinkedIn, on calls, on clients. Like it was, that's like a lot of my day to days are just 14, 15 hours of just straight working on whatever I'm doing. It's also part
Mhm.
of just scaling in general is you have to be have to take the time, especially if you're doing LinkedIn and just business like full time. If you're in another job, obviously gonna be a lot more difficult to do all these things. But if someone that's like as myself who's doing this full time, it's just nonstop. So it's a lot of fun though. It's definitely my hobby. So
But I like, as you say that, because I feel like that, people often try to look for shortcuts, whether it's, I don't know, talk only negatively about AI, but whether it's like, with AI engagement, I'm sure that you've seen it a lot, or outsourcing VAs. Of course, it's helpful, but they can see that like someone like you who's built impressive following, communities, business and everything, that you still spend so much time on it and that you are actually the one who's showing up.
yeah, actually, that's funny you said that because my post today is literally on AI and like how people are just like, I'll go to my comment section, I can spot AI comment, real person, AI comment. So I always like, I'll literally tell people like, yo, stop using AI for your comments. It looks horrible. So no, I'm definitely spending a lot of my time, and even for all the clients that I work with, we just focus on like, even some of the VAs that I've worked with in the past. They try to use AI for their comments. Absolutely no. Comments is supposed to be authentic, a genuine like conversation between one person and another. So we just always focus on authentic engagement. That's really the only way to grow on LinkedIn is the and like authentic side. Otherwise, you're going to show up like the millions of other people that are trying to do the exact same thing you're trying to do. So it's very important to keep like the genuine side of the business.
I only agree, and I'm glad you said it. And
Yeah.
sorry, Alex, if you mentioned it before, but when we were talking about the gaming or streaming, why have you actually stopped with that? Because it seemed like that it was going well. So didn't you like see the career in that type of profession you were doing? Maybe you said it and I forgot. So apologies if you.
No, no, it's perfect. I don't think gaming is a very healthy thing, especially if you're doing it for 14, 15 hours a day. You're also handling with a younger audience. So we're talking 12, 13-year-olds that are just like sitting in front of the computer all day. So the toxic community, if you finish like a 15-hour, stream of playing video games and you're mentally just feel so bad. Your head is pounding. It's hot in your room. It's just like it's kind of like a disgusting feeling after you're doing all this gaming for so long. So yeah, it was really nice, but just it's a toll on everything. The community, how you feel after it. You don't really see a feature either because it's like, oh, do I want to play video games all my life? Or do I want to network with awesome people that are also building a cool business and learn new things, right? So it's kind of like there was a cap at where I could do. Now you could obviously start creating YouTube content and like kind of scale to be a different kind of creator, but I didn't really see myself in that community anymore. So that's why I pushed over to the business side, which I was very interested in. and I love it now. So I think it's worth it.
I'm glad to hear that. I cannot, of course, I played games as well, but never been a big gamer. But I cannot imagine it's just gaming and sleeping. If there is any time for
That's
sleeping,
all it is,
actually.
man. It's like you're missing dinners. Like that's insane. I will say too, like I've tried everything. I've done coding for 2 years. I was coding MacBook apps for literally 2 years. That was before high school. I had a really crappy iPod Touch. I went to school. I traded it with a guy who had like a really bad Alienware monitor or Alienware laptop. I traded my iPod for a laptop. I took his laptop. That's what I started coding on originally, and I actually started streaming on that too. So I was like a bunch of trading in high school to like get my equipment started because I had no money, right? And then I did coding. I've done NFTs. I've done crypto. I've done gaming. I've done like everything you can think of, drop shipping, everything until I found like the one niche that I really like, which is what I'm doing right now. I think it's
I
worth like
think
definitely testing out different things.
exactly. That's what I was about to say. That I think that's a great point. That
Yeah.
it's worth trying different things to actually figure out what you like, what works for you, and what's worth sticking for the long term. It's like never, okay, I discovered LinkedIn and it's going to work from now on. It actually takes like a few trials and errors. So that was a great point.
I mean, yeah, for sure. When I started LinkedIn 2.5 years ago, it was not even close to what it is now. Like there wasn't that many creators. Some of the top creators right now that have 800,000 followers had like 50, 60,000 back then. So it wasn't like a big creator platform yet. So it was a lot of just trial and error to see like what worked. Because when I went on there, it was like I didn't have much motivation at all. It was just crappy posts I started creating. Really bad content actually. So it's just like one of those things where you just kind of take it full on and see what happens.
Oh, it's the same for all of us. The cringy
For
first
sure.
post.
Oh, dude. If I look back 2 years from now, man, I don't want to look at that anymore.
How did you actually discover the platform, or when it like clicked that that's the platform that you're going to focus on?
Yeah, so as I was on Twitch, I'm doing crypto and stuff. I built like 40,000 followers on Twitter. Now it's X. So on X, a lot of people were started talking about LinkedIn. I actually saw Jasmine on there. I saw Laura, a couple of the bigger creators on there. So I was like, oh, I'll take a look at LinkedIn, where people posted over there. So I started basically repurposing my content from X over to LinkedIn. I got some of the tools that allow you to just like kind of automatically post it over there. And then one day I actually went onto LinkedIn, kind of went through it, kind of built my connections a little bit. And I saw that there was some content on there that was like popping off like crazy. I saw people were actually be able to build a business. So I was like, okay, so right now X is more of, the crypto, the gaming side of my audience. And these people don't want my educational stuff, right? My business stuff. So I went onto LinkedIn. I started posting stuff there. I had one post hit like, I think it was like 50 likes, but I was like, that's kind of crazy. I have like 100 followers on here. 50 likes is kind of crazy. So then I started to connect with more people, posting more content. It was starting to get better because I would take some of the ideas that I saw from other creators. I'd make it really good. I also had my, awesome setup. So I was able to take that, put it onto LinkedIn. I think people kind of saw that. I was like, oh yeah, this guy's an authority, because I wasn't starting really fresh, right? I actually already had a follow on other platforms. Like I took that, the skills that I learned, put it to LinkedIn, and boom, I was starting to get more traction. And that's when I started building some free lead magnets, some paid products. And just over time, it just got better and better. And even today, like I'm still improving my content. If I look a month back, the content, even like 2 months ago, some of the content I made doesn't even like, I don't even like it compared to what I'm creating right now. So it's like always, as long as you're open to just changing constantly and improving, you're gonna find success and some sort of growth along the way.
I agree, and I think it's a good thing that if you look at your old content, you don't really like it or you're not happy with it anymore, because it shows that you keep improving, you've got different standards, and you just do it differently.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. If you don't cringe at your stuff 2 years ago, then you're obviously just not improving enough. So it's the indicator to tell like if you're improving or if you need to work on stuff.
And just to give to the audience a bit of context, do you know, Alex, what's your current number of followers?
It should be just almost 40K.
Yeah, because it's literally, as we are recording right now, it's 8 followers left from
Eight
beautiful
followers worth
40K.
40K. Let's go. Yeah, we hit 30K.
When you hit it, Alex, have you got any, I don't know, celebration, or are we going to celebrate it in any way?
Honestly, I'll drop it in the school. There's like a win category, so we just always drop wins. So a couple weeks ago, I had a post that did really well. We got some new clients from it, so I'll like post that in there. So yeah, I'll definitely post it in the wins category. I'm probably like in my generic posts, some like really good like non BS advice. Oh yeah, I hit 4,000. This is like my non BS advice here, and yeah, that's typically just what I do. Also, my birthday is in 2 days, so I'll probably do a post on that as well.
Maybe people wait, don't follow Alex so that he hits that in 2 days. So it's perfect.
Exactly. Make that. That'll be my perfect birthday gift.
Yeah, and Alex, I'm sure that you get these DMs, because all of us do. Like, such as, what is your advice or any tips, or I don't know, how to go viral? Because people are usually looking for these, I don't know, secrets or whatever. So if you get like a DM like this, or someone asks you, what's your usual advice, or what would you tell these people?
I mean, I've been on LinkedIn for over 2 years and I've never had a post go insanely viral. I think some of my best content was like when I'm at telling people that I'm hiring, for example, or some of like I've hit 30,000, 20,000 followers. The content that we focus on is for results. So we're trying to build our business to get cash flow. We're trying to connect with the right people so that the audience that actually follows us, whether it's 1,000 or 2,000 people versus 100,000 people that, don't actually want our stuff. It's a very specific audience that actually wants what we have to sell, what we have to offer, and you're kind of building like a tight knit community. So really the easy way to do this is number one is creating content that's like very consistent. So for example, I'm posting every single day. If you don't have the time to do every single day, you post 3 times, 4 times a week. And that we just have that organic content out so you can nurture your audience. It's just valuable stuff, non-AI stuff that's like it actually makes sense. It's targeting the right audience. And then like the biggest thing you have to do with your content is going to be to send out, let's say 100 connections every single week. I do that every single week still to this day. I also send out around 50 to 100 comments on other creators in my niche. So for example, I will comment on creators that target a very similar audience. So let's say they're talking about LinkedIn growth, LinkedIn content, building their business on LinkedIn. I'll find those creators. I'll make a list of 50 to 100 people and I comment every single morning, boom, 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 on all these creators. And it's not like just like a, oh, great post kind of comment. It's like an actual comment regarding that creator. So I'll have like a
Yeah,
real
very
conversation.
insightful.
Yeah, so even if it's not valuable at all, I'll like have like an authentic conversation with the creator. It could literally be something stupid about coffee or whatever it is, but at least
Yeah.
it's like an actual comment, and you're putting your face out there. The more your little profile picture shows up on the timeline, the more people can find you. Go to your profile, check out your stuff. Boom, you've got new followers, and you probably got new engagement. Even if they're not going to buy your stuff, because 99% of the people that go to your profile are not going to buy your stuff. At least you have a new audience member who's going to go through your free stuff. They're going to follow you. They're going to post like comment on your post, like overall increase the engagement. So those are all very important. And then really the last thing is when you post on LinkedIn around like it's like the first 90 minutes. That's like the most crucial part to and time to get engagement. Otherwise, your post doesn't get sent to second and third degree connections. It kind of stays in your first degree network. So it's really important to engage as much as possible, get as much comments, reposts, etc. When you first start like and publish that post versus waiting 4 hours then trying to get some engagement on it. So that initial
Mhm.
engagement is very crucial.
I like it. I agree. And I think it's especially great advice with the connections. I think that's something that the people underestimate or maybe don't realize. And definitely something that I haven't been doing before, such as you've got a limit of connection that you can send per week. Of course, you don't have to use all of those, but at the same time, take advantage of it because it's really helpful.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I've been doing that for like literally since I started LinkedIn, just sending out the connections. Really just the easiest way to meet new people. And I'm not saying send out connections where it's like, hey, I'm selling this, buy it. It's more like, hey, like I love what you're doing here. Let's connect and maybe like join a podcast at some point or something like that. So
Mm.
you're not connecting to just sell to people. You're connecting to actually build, maybe some friendships down the line, maybe do some collab posts, have people like actually engage with your stuff. But it's good to have a community growing with you at the same time. Have like a really good support group as you're trying to build your own personal brand and business on the platform.
Exactly. Just grow your network. And so, Alex, started on LinkedIn. Have you already had an idea of the business that you want to start or what you want to focus on? Or when did you basically come up with, the idea of what you're going to focus on with your business?
Yeah, so I mean, ever since I started on like social media in general, I've always been about creating content, right? Creating content has been my biggest thing. And honestly, like content is the way to grow. Like that's like how to make money and how to grow, just generally. So on all the platforms I've been on, it's been the number one thing for me is just create content to grow, make money, sell stuff. So when I got to LinkedIn, I was like, well, I could do that too here. People aren't really creating content yet. So it's like, oh, I'll create my awesome content that I create on all my other platforms and I'll show people how to do it. So essentially that's kind of how I started. I dropped my first ever paid product was in August of 2023. Yeah, 2023 of August. It did numbers because I literally was building that for like 6 months. It's like the first ever product I built. That one did absolute numbers because I was like also was a very early creator on the platform. But yeah, it's kind of what I've been doing on my other platforms. I kind of just took all the information I had, the skills I had, and just brought it to LinkedIn.
I mean, that makes sense. And as you say that, what was like, for example, the competition like before? Because of course it was early, but I assume there were some people already compared to
Yeah.
now, because I feel like that now you got like every other person is focusing on personal branding or some design, so it's quite competitive. So what was it like before compared to now?
Yeah, honestly, it's not just LinkedIn, it's every social media platform in general, but specifically on LinkedIn, it's everyone is trying to do it now. You'll have people that shouldn't be doing it are trying to do it, right? Because they're literally working all their side jobs, they've got their like side hustles, and they're trying to build on LinkedIn. So everyone's just trying to do it right now. The way I see it though is competition, in my opinion, is still the same as was before because if you're creating your own personal brand, your genuine content, you're creating good content, and you know what you're selling, who you're selling to, the competition isn't really there because you have the valuable stuff. It's so good where people are going to find you no matter what. So you're kind of just building like I don't look at other people as competition. I just look at them as like friends and inspiration to do better in my business. So I've honestly never looked at other people as competition, especially when building your content and you're trying to build your empire, right? I don't think it's good to have competition because I'd rather have all these people as my friends, right? And I can kind of build alongside them. We can give each other inspiration, tips, and maybe some of our strategies we're using right now. So it's definitely a lot more people building on the platform now. So you can't just have half-assed content. But if you're creating good stuff and your own authentic stuff, you're going to actually show up and get results on the platform.
That is a good point. I was about to ask you, maybe you kind of answer it now, but what would be like your USP or your competitive advantage over the others?
Yeah, honestly, for me, it's going to be my brand is essentially like a premium look. So I try to build a premium look for my brand. So high value and high quality photos of myself. I'll do video content. I'll do a lot of photos of myself. All my content is very authentic. So it's mainly behind the scenes of how I'm building my business right now, my strategies that I'm using. So a lot of the content you will see on LinkedIn is like, oh, how to use this AI tool. This is how you build a personal brand, optimize your profile, right? So all these like more generic, broad items that you can just probably go on the chat GPT and just ask like that question. You'll get the result for it.
Yeah, that anyone can do, right?
Exactly. If you take my content, you're not going to be able to chat it and get the same answer, obviously, because it's more about my business, what I'm working on. And I'll talk a lot about like what I've learned about the past, XYZ years of doing business. I'll even show examples of me doing my gaming stuff and how like transported over all the skills I have now for my LinkedIn business. So it's really just showing behind the scenes, showing the strategy that you use and just how you run your business is the best type of content because people want to see the relatable stuff of you waking up and like, oh, I don't sit here for an hour, drink my coffee, and I'm done for the day. I sit here for 15 hours and get no results because I'm just testing new things, right? They want to see like the raw, like real self of you building your business, trying to scale to, let's say, 7 figures. That's actually one of the new video series I started was scaling from 6 to 7 figures. And I'm just showing the process like, oh, it's not easy. It sucks.
Mhm.
Like there's a lot of times where I'm just completely tired and I don't want to wake up. Like it's the weekend. I don't want to work, but I work on weekends anyways. So it's just really like showing the authentic and real self is the USP and like the honestly the way that I grow.
I like it, yeah. And as I've been doing some research or having a look at your online presence before, whether it's, of course, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, X, I really like your content. I guess I'm a bit biased with the video as well because I like the video, but the truth is
Yeah.
that the video content that you share, whether it's like the reels on Instagram or videos on YouTube, I really like it. And yeah, I encourage people to have a look because it's more relatable. I think it's also interesting because not that many people do it, so it's actually something that makes you stand out. And I think also
Sure.
great point that you said, it shows a bit more, like more of the effort. It's not like, as you said, ChatGPT, but it's like, working behind the scenes, making
Yeah.
more effort with the video content and all the stuff. So it's great stuff. Yeah.
I think it's also important if you are doing LinkedIn not to try to focus on every platform at the start. The reason why I'm doing some long form YouTube content now, I never was a big YouTuber, but I'm obviously trying to start my long form now to funnel people over to my school, to my LinkedIn, to my other platforms. So I think it's really good to focus on LinkedIn first, grow a pretty good following, really master the content, build that strategy, get that scheduling down where you don't have to spend as much time on creating content anymore on LinkedIn. And you can start going to YouTube, create long form content. You can easily promote that on LinkedIn and then you can promote your links on your YouTube, kind of vice versa, kind of funnel it into your free lead magnets, your paid offers. You kind of start with LinkedIn, then get over to YouTube, and you can even create YouTube shorts. And then those shorts can literally be produced on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook,
Mhm.
Reddit, whatever you want to do. You can publish all that content onto every single platform. So you kind of like start on LinkedIn, master it, and then slowly veer off to other platforms. You can then monetize your audience that way. So that's been kind of what's working really well for me. I actually did LinkedIn for 2 years before even starting YouTube at all. So I just wanted to master one platform before I went to the next one.
It's the great power of repurposing, isn't it? You do one longer video, then you can cut for other platforms and you've got the content like for the whole month or for how long.
Yeah, it sounds like it's really easy. The only problem is some platforms, like even YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok, all the short platforms, they're very different. There's a very different audience on every single platform. TikTok, the retention rate, people just they're scrolling so fast, not even watching the hook. So you have to like really like hunker down that hook on that video. Instagram, it's more aesthetic, it's a little more premium, so you got to focus on like a little bit different vibe for your videos. YouTube Shorts, I don't even know yet, so we're just kind of posting on there. But there's a very different audience for every platform, so you kind of like have to take your long form content and then you can't just repurpose the same that you can. That's kind of what I'm doing right now, but I'm kind of testing out different videos in each platform just to see what works since the audiences are just so different, right? And even on LinkedIn, the video UI right now for the scrolling is pretty bad. So we've been testing horizontal videos and they've been working a lot better. Same with the horizontal photos. They're working phenomenally. So we've actually went from doing vertical videos that you could scroll on LinkedIn to now horizontal. It's working great. So I'll probably test it out for 4 or 5 months and see how it goes.
It's a good idea for me as well. I've never thought of it as much because I know that before, when they introduced the button on the LinkedIn app, they wanted to push it a bit more. That then suddenly it disappeared. So one never knows what's trending and what's going to be next big thing on LinkedIn.
Oh, for sure. We're like, even for since I run a content agency, we're obviously testing different content styles, videos. We're testing carousel. We're always testing to see what's working right now. And we saw creators were getting like a drop in like 70, 80% impressions on the vertical videos just because people aren't scrolling the videos, right? They're just looking at their feed, probably like looking at the same creators every day that they follow. So those horizontal, you can obviously like, it looks better too. You can create a lot more in a frame on a horizontal video. It's a little more of a YouTube style. So it's been working really well. So I think it's worth trying if you're trying to do any sort of video or content on LinkedIn for sure.
I think so too. And after all, the best way to find out is always to try it by yourself.
Test it. Yeah.
What about Alex Threads from Meta? Have you got experience? And if so, what's your experience like?
No, man, I tested out for maybe 3 weeks when it first came out. I do not like it at all. It's like I'll scroll through it. It's so bad. I know one of the scheduling tools I have, it actually takes well, I used to. It would take my X posts and throw them onto threads automatically for me. But it's just one of those platforms where I don't feel like I want to spend time on it because I already got Instagram and my Instagram stuff automatically goes to Facebook. So it'll post automatically to threads, but I'm not going to go onto the app. I don't even have the app on my phone, but I'm not going to go on the app and like comment on stuff. I've never really tested it, but for all the careers I've talked to that are a creator on Facebook and Instagram, not really worth getting into. And yeah, you can post on it, but we haven't seen any results on it. So we've kind of scrapped that app.
I was just curious because I think I got maybe a bit like interested or wanted to check it out when it came out, but since then I feel like I've never really heard anyone talking about it or even kind of mentioning it. So I wanted to know your experience.
They rushed the launch and they just spent so much money on it, but it was so unoptimized. And something because they were trying to fight with X, right? This is a time where they were competing with X to see which platform was getting better. Obviously, X did a way better job, but they rushed it so fast to compete with X, and none of the actual features they had were optimized yet. There were so many bugs. It was laggy. The app would crash when you're on it. So I think that actually took away a lot of the instant viewers and the people that download the app because their first impression was so bad. They probably haven't even tried it again yet since it's gotten better. So it kind of ruined the launch on that one. It's kind of impacting the long term.
Are you struggling to stay consistent on LinkedIn? Pen Post helps you create high quality posts in minutes, so you can write faster, show up more, and stress way less. Built by creators for creators. It's the easiest way to grow your presence without burning out. Try it free at fanpost.com. And the next one, Alex, I was about to ask you about school, which you mentioned before. But now, after we discussed your experience with Discord, it makes much more sense that basically when you started school, you are already the master. But can you tell us more about your community on school and maybe why you chose the platform as well?
Yeah. So first, why I chose it. I've tried Discord. I've tried Kajabi. I've tried Circle. I've tried Slack. I've tried all the communities. Now for gaming, yes, Discord is phenomenal. People are young. They know how to use it. I launched an educational company in college on Discord, flopped. I tried it again. I tried launching my Discord community for my LinkedIn. It's just too complex. It's too confusing. There's too many buttons. There's too many channels. There's too many things going on. So it's just not the right fit for a LinkedIn audience. We're trying to build our business. We're just trying to hop on calls and just talk about, what we're trying to do. So it didn't work. Now, Kajabi, a little bit too complex, had too many features and too expensive for what you get. So then on school, it's perfect. So the modules are very easy and you can build a freemium model. So essentially people can join in for free. And then from there, inside the course, inside the school, you can upsell your paid modules so they can pay monthly. You essentially have a free tier, let's say a $20 tier and then an $80 tier. So you can upsell within the community But that way you have all the community join a free school community. And then inside that, if people want to learn more, if they want to get your full systems, the coaching, they can then upgrade, right? So it's a very easy process from going from free to paid without having to send
Mhm.
people to a lead magnet and then to an email list. It's all in one spot, which I really, really like.
It sounds good to me. I've never tried it, honestly. And I assume that is also something that you enjoy based on your previous experience, like building a community, like coming back to what you did before.
Yeah, it's because when I used to do Discord, I would spend, I would just sit in the voice calls and just talk to my community for hours. So it's nice to go back to something like this where I can kind of create that audience where it's not just creating content on LinkedIn and answer my comments. I can literally sit down in a more like tight community and just talk to people, answer questions. We can do accountability calls. I love it a lot more. So it kind of brings me back to the old days, but also I get my new skills and what I like to do now. So I would definitely recommend joining, like building a free community. It's awesome.
Mhm. And Alex, one thing that I still have on my mind is what is it like with your time management? Because it sounds like you manage so many things and to do it on a high level. So how do you manage everything?
Honestly, I don't even know how I manage it sometimes. It's a lot though. So I typically start my mornings at 6 a.m. And then from there, I've got like very specific systems. So I'll do like some certain client work every single day from about 6 to 8 a.m. And then from there, I typically start my own content. We do content work for tons of different clients. We do outreach, we do content design. So there's a lot of client work that goes throughout the day. My sales calls are limited to 5 to 6 a month max. Calls is something I don't really believe in, especially because I can probably just send a DM or an email about it. So unless a client, like a new client is an onboard and they really want to start with me, but they want to like get, more of the personal touch, I'll do a sales call with them. But my sales calls are very quick, but to the point. They're not salesy. I'm just basically showing, okay, we're going to do this for you. If you want it, you can start here. If not, you can get our free stuff here, right? So we limit
Mhm.
sales calls. The only calls we do is stuff like this with other creators or with our current clients, and then of course in the school community. So in terms of the actual management of the time, I just have this bad boy right here. It's a notebook. It's got all my to-do lists, tasks. It's got my schedule, priorities, and the to-dos. So anything that's like I have to do it today is in priorities. The to-do list is just things I want to get done by the end of the night. So until like this thing is all checked off, I don't go to sleep. And I've got the actual schedule done. I use my MacBook for reminders so I know exactly what I'm doing because I honestly have a really bad memory. So I'll have 4 things scheduled and I'll totally forget. So I've got my phone reminders, I got my Mac reminders, but this thing is like the only way I'm like actually able to stay within my time management is the manual writing down. Because if I put stuff in my calendar, I probably will forget. If I write it down in a book, I won't forget. It's like actually in my brain. So it's really the only way to actually get things done. And also travel a lot. It's like I've got tons of flights every single month. I think I've flown probably over 250 times the last 2 years. So a lot of my work gets done on flights,
You said
airports,
you
airport.
flew 250 times. Did I hear
Yep.
correctly?
Almost,
Oh, wow.
yep. All around the US.
Yeah, I was just about to say that it's something that we should discuss before the recordings. I was about to ask you more. And oh my god,
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting such a high number. It's what I call enjoying life while working. Because people often talk about this digital nomad life that you can work from anywhere. So I think you're like a perfect example, traveling so much, smashing it with your work, even the personal brand. So really well done.
Yeah, I will say too, a lot of people think that they need like this crazy budget to travel. I mean, I've traveled to 50 countries in the last 2 years. I've flown over 200 times. And I'll stay at hostels. I will not go to restaurants. I'll eat like street food. So it's kind of a perfect example because I like to show people that you don't need to stay at 5-star hotels. You don't need to get sponsorships to stay at hotels for free. You don't have to go to these crazy hotels or whatever it is. You just need like a place to sleep and a place to work. That's essentially how I work, right? So I'll stay at hostels. I'll go to cafes. I'm comfortable, so it works for me. So you don't really, and it also, I was a huge introvert like for years. Traveling was the only reason why I'm not an introvert anymore. Is because I would have to talk to people. I would solo travel in countries like, I've been to Oman, I've been to Saudi Arabia, I've been to over Asia, I've been to these countries that most of the Western world doesn't actually go to. So I've experienced everything. I've experienced some of the craziest stuff, like near death experiences, even. So it's gotten me out of my comfort zone. I have to talk to people. I don't know languages, so it's honestly like if I didn't travel, I would not have my business how it is today. That's 100%.
Would you mind sharing any of your interesting experiences, just as you said that?
Dude, I mean, we've been close to Taliban before, which is a little scary as a US
Yeah, I can
person.
imagine.
We've been Yeah, we've been. I actually almost fell off a scooter in Bali. That was pretty scary because I've never ridden like a scooter before, like one of the mopeds. So, and then Indonesia is a crazy place for driving. So that was another crazy experience. Food. I went to India, almost died. I was bedridden for 4 days. Worst
Oh my
experience
god.
ever. And like that's different breed. If you think like you've had bad food, man, this was the most insane experience of my life. So I was throwing up for days, almost died, crazy. I just wanted to go home after that. I actually went to Singapore after that. I had more trips going, but I just wanted to go home, back to the US, back to my bed. So we've had so many experiences with cool people though. I think the coolest part of traveling is just like meeting the locals of places, and you just like really get to talk about just how they're living. You kind of see, you go back home and you're like, damn, gotta have it nice. Like this is crazy. So you get humbled. You learn a lot. You become more of an extrovert. You like to talk to people. So even like my calls, my clients and stuff, like it makes it more like it's just a better interaction. Like I know how to talk to people. I'm not much of an introvert anymore. I actually like to speak to people. So it's been a great adventure.
Mm. And as you said that, does it mean that you're someone who maybe underestimates safety or doesn't pay as much attention, or was it like a literary coincidences or something outside of your control?
No, so everything that's been out of my control, honestly. I mean, somewhat. I'm someone who likes to take moderate risks, so I will take risks that will get me out of my comfort zone, but risks that won't obviously get me in huge harm's way. Same for my business. I'll take a lot of risk, and even for like investing, I'll do risk where I want to make some sort of good ROI, but I also don't want to just destroy my future for what I'm doing. So it's the same for business, same for traveling, same for life. It's that moderate risk is really what's gotten me where I've gotten. But I'm usually the person that's the safe one, and the people I'm with are the ones that don't care at all. So I'm like, oh, okay, we can't do this, we can't do that, we shouldn't do this, oh, we should go there, right? So that's actually me. That's the safe one, which is kind of funny, but that's
Mhm.
kind of how it is. The moderate risk is the most I'll do. High risk, only sometimes, but usually just like right in between is perfect for me.
Yeah, and I'm sure that this is a question that many people ask you and probably a tough one to answer, but what is the place that you maybe like the most and why? Or some of the places that you like the most?
Yeah. I would say I've got two. The first one's Oman. The second one is Romania. Now, the reason why I say this is because one, I don't like tourists. I don't like going to like Western Europe. I mean, I've been to all these countries, by the way. I've been to every tourist spot you can imagine, right? Paris, Spain, all these places. But Oman, the reason why is you've got everything. You've got the culture, you've got no tourists, you've got mountains, you've got beaches, you've got oases, you've got just beautiful architecture, you've got agriculture, you've got beautiful roads you can drive from the mountains. I mean, it's just very open. You can kind of do whatever you want. Obviously there's laws in place, but it's just you kind of feel like a new person there. Still got all the US stuff. You got Domino's, you got McDonald's, you got all the good stuff. But you got it's you've got everything there without the tourists, and it's just different. A different culture. The food in the Middle East is the
Mhm.
best. And Romania was beautiful. It's some of the best nature that I've seen. The people were amazing. I actually went to an EDM concert there in like a little town, zero tourists. There was only Romanians. Beautiful. Also, always loved Romania. You can basically take a train from one side of the country to the other, and it's just sunflowers. The whole trip. It's like a 4-hour journey of just sunflowers. So it's a very cool country, awesome castles, and no tourists. Because okay, I will say there's tourists in the capital, but that's just like for partying. You go outside the capital, you're free.
I'm glad to hear it because I've got a very close friend, Yonut. I hope that
Yeah.
he's listening when this is out, and I will send it to him,
All right.
especially because he's from Romania and he will be very happy to hear this.
Oh,
So
that's
I'm
sick.
glad that you mentioned it.
Yeah. Brasov, Craiova, and Bucharest. All three cities we went to. Beautiful.
Oh my God, he's from Brasov. Wow.
Like, dude, that was like one of my favorite cities I've been to in Romania. It was sick.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I loved it there.
And sorry for the interruption. You were about to say something else.
Oh, I was just saying, because I know some people think that like when you travel, you're just trying to go to like these luxury places, but I like to do a mix. So obviously, I'll travel around the U.S. I've been to almost all the states here. I do Europe, which is a little more, modernized, and we'll do Eastern Europe, which some of the cities are a little bit less modernized, but still very nice. We'll do Middle East. We'll go to some places that are just not modernized at all, so you get like kind of a different mix of culture there. Go to Asia, obviously, and the economy is just not even close where it is to, like the U.S. in some of these cities. So it's nice to see like a bit of the US, bit of Europe, bit of Asia. I've been to Africa too. I've hiked the highest mountain in North Africa, which is really cool. Yeah, I've done it all.
Then the question is, what is left on your list?
Ooh, Moldova. That's on my list. North Macedonia, probably the stands, Kazakhstan,
Yeah.
more of Africa at some point. Australia, I haven't hit. New Zealand, it would be beautiful. Haven't hit Alaska yet or Hawaii.
And I don't know if you want to answer this question, but was there a place that you actually haven't enjoyed? If you don't want to, you don't have to answer this one.
The only thing I will say is some countries in Asia, I won't say specifically in case anyone's from there, but I will say some places in Asia, when you travel for a long time, and I'm talking like 2, 3 months at a time, there's just some places where you're just not comfortable anymore. You're just like, oh, I want to go back to a nice place where I can get just a comfortable place to sleep, a comfortable place to like, not feel scared of the bugs or the heat or whatever. So I will say it's only been because I've been traveling for a long time. So I'm talking like 2 months in, I'm like, man, I'm done. But otherwise, no, I haven't really had any bad experiences. I'm just open to anything really. So, and same for like when I'm working, like if I'm building my business on LinkedIn, for example, or doing my YouTube videos, whatever it is, I can pretty much work anywhere where there's Wi-Fi. I just need Wi-Fi. I've been to some places where Wi-Fi is just so hard to find, which is typically on my ranking of I don't like those places, not because of the actual country, just because I can't work, right? So that's the only thing I'd really say is I don't like the city because I can't work, essentially.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes sense. And Alex, when
Yeah.
it comes to like a personal development, do you read any books? And if so, have you got any recommendations?
That's funny. Actually, I haven't read a book since probably third grade. The Maze Runner. Yeah, I read the Bible every morning, but I don't read any I got any self help books or productivity or anything like that.
Yeah, okay, okay. I mean, no worries. And what about movies? Have you got any favorite films?
Oh man, horror. I used to watch all the horror movies you could think of. Now I just watch romance and comedy movies like rom
Ah,
coms, like
oh, the
stuff.
progression.
That's all I watch, man. But I will say I don't really have time to watch movies. So if I do, it's probably on a plane or in the airport when I'm just like exhausted. But at home, nah. We're on that grind, We on that 15-hour days. Ain't no time for movies.
No, I understand. And have you got like any, let's say, people or personas that are for you inspiration or that you follow, whether it's for their, I don't know, mindset or the business or the career, any of inspirations?
Yeah, so actually the first course I bought on LinkedIn was from Matt Gray. So Matt Gray had his Founder OS course that he brought. It was like $150, I think. But that actually was the game changer for me. Like it actually changed my entire business because I got the tools that he used. I started writing like his systems that he had. I literally built his entire framework from that one course. This was 2 years ago. That was like the best investment of $150 I have ever spent. People like always talk down about courses and how bad they are. But when you're first starting out, if you don't know what you're doing, these courses are an absolute game changer. Like that man, like actually changed how my business runs today and like the actual like what I've been doing. So I would say like, yeah, if you find like a couple careers, I would say stick with 2 to 3 people max and just follow what they do. If you have too many opinions from, 10, 15 out of 20 people, you have too many conflicting ideas. So I would say stick with 2 to 3 people that have very similar ideas, have very similar systems, and just focus on those 2 to 3 people. And eventually, if you want to try something else, you can move on, but just stick with a couple people that you trust, you like their content, and just focus on their systems and then like whatever they're building. And then that's how you can kind of like take inspiration from the ideas from and how you can kind of grow your business from what they're doing.
I like it. And I think that especially in the beginning, when you just don't know when you are new and you need some kind of guidance, if you come across like the course from someone who's established, who's way ahead of you, I think it can be a great accelerator and step forward.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think a lot of people too, when they start, they're so not open to getting help. They just want to do everything themselves. I'm one of those people. I don't like hiring people sometimes. I don't like hiring graphic designers. I will sit on Photoshop for 5 hours and try to figure something out, right? Even though I'm not a designer, I'm not a video editor, but I will sit there and figure it out. So I think it's
Yeah.
100% worth. If you need help, just go seek it. You don't have to spend like $10,000 on some like crazy coaching program or whatever, but just get some help, get a course, go on YouTube, search up some free videos, but just look for help first, grow that knowledge base, and then it's going to help you accelerate way faster than trying to like do everything yourself at the beginning.
Completely agreed, especially like these days when YouTube is full of literary tutorials on everything and it's often for free. So
Oh,
good to take advantage of that.
and one thing I do too is there's going to be videos that are like 45 minutes, 1 hour. I don't know if I just want to sit there for an hour. You can just copy the transcript, throw in the chat GPT and say, hey, like, what is exactly this person is saying? Like, tell me what they're saying in this video and give it to me very detailed. And you just get a bullet point list and you'll learn it in like 30 seconds. So I also love that as
Mhm.
well.
I agree. And Alex, I don't want to make this sound like interview question, but what are like your plans for the future? If you've got any specific goals, ambitions, or targets?
I mean, I'm moving, so this is my last month in the studio here in Nashville. Moving down to Florida soon, and then
Mm.
honestly, right now we've got the series. We're trying to scale from 6 to 7 figures. My biggest thing though is I don't care about money. I just care about helping people as much as I can. So money just kind of comes with that, right? So how big can I build my audience? How many people can help? And like I started my school community last week. So my goal right now is to really get that school community to be the biggest and number one school community for LinkedIn creators and for careers in general. Just build a massive community that we can help people. People can help each other. And that way I don't have to be there 24/7. We've got people that can help each other. And then really just in terms of like the business, just not spending 15 hours a day doing what I do.
Yeah, you actually surprised me that you launched school just last week. I thought that you've been running it for some time. So impressive that it's been such a short
No, it
time.
was 6 days ago. Yeah.
Mm.
In terms of like building a community, like on school, for example, it's one of those things where I think I should have done earlier, but I've already been testing out different things. I've been testing out different types of content and the ways to like funnel my audience different places. We've got like the 5-day free email course. We've got lead magnets here and there. So essentially the best thing we found, even from testing for months and months and months, is the free community. You can throw your lead magnets inside it, but that way people can join. They can find everything in one spot, not have to go to this email list, this email list, this email, or like this piece of content, this YouTube video. They've got a central hub of just everything that they need. It's a roadmap. It's a 90-day roadmap. They can get quick wins. They have a roadmap of what exactly they're going to do for the next 90 days. There's a clear path from 0 followers to 10K followers, from $1,000 to 10,000 a month. It's like a clear roadmap of one result that they want to get in the next 90 days. So I think that's one reason why a community like that is so important.
I agree, and I think as we've been discussing, you describe it really well. And now, as you just said it, Alex, can you please summarize where people can find you, follow you, and promote any of your services?
I mean, yeah, for sure. I would say just if you want to follow me, just Alex Calhoun on LinkedIn. And then from there, you're going to find my school. If you want to join the school community, we're pretty much building the biggest school community right now for LinkedIn creators. We've got daily calls for accountability, workshops, masterminds, guest speakers. We've got everything in there. So if you're actually serious about building your brand, I'd say join the school. Just join my LinkedIn. We've got YouTube videos all going on there every single week too. So if you need the value, if you're trying to grow your brand or business, it's going to be the place to be.
As always, I will add the links to the show notes. And then very last question, Alex, is there anything that I should have asked you and did not, or any final piece of advice or message or anything that you would like to share before we finish?
Honestly, I think if you're someone that's wanting to build a business and build their personal brand on LinkedIn, I would say the first thing you should do, besides everything else, is just build your audience first before you sell anything. I made the same mistake. I've tried to launch products before where I tried to just build it behind the scenes for 3 months and then launch it, get 0 sales. Really, the biggest thing is build the audience first, build in public, show what you're building. Let's say you're building like a $20 product. Show what you're building, show inside the, behind the scenes, what's inside the modules. Just build in public, show behind the scenes, launch it in 3 months, and you're going to sell a lot more versus if you just create your normal boring content, you're building a product behind the scenes, and then you just randomly launch a product in your email saying, hey, we just launched a product today. It's not going to work. So my advice, build an audience first, sell after.
I think it's then perfect advice to finish with. Alex, I want to say a big thank you, not only for the value that you shared, but also it was really fun and great conversation. I like the content that you share. I encourage people to follow you. As I said, I will add any links to the show notes. And yeah, I will keep following, supporting, and I will be looking forward to seeing the pictures from the sunny Florida. So thank you for joining me, Alex.
Heck yeah. Appreciate it, man. It's been awesome on the podcast too. Definitely be checking out your content as well. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for listening to Produced by with Tomen. Check the show notes for all the links, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share your feedback. Speak soon.